Imagine being 13 years old and finding out you have a disease that will slowly take your body apart piece by piece. No cure, no escape. Just time ticking down. Now imagine doing that while also being king. Not a prince, not in training, the actual king. Of one of the most contested, war-soaked, politically explosive kingdoms in all of human history. That is your life. You are Baldwin IV, King of Jerusalem. And nothing about your story is going to be easy. You're born in 1161, in Jerusalem, the holiest city on earth, and somehow also one of the most dangerous places to be alive. Your father is King Amalric I. Your mother is Agnes of Courtenay. On paper, you're basically medieval royalty, like being born into the Windsors, except instead of paparazzi outside your palace, it's armies. Jerusalem at this point is what historians call a crusader kingdom. Translation: European Christians fought their way here about 60 years before you were born, planted a flag, and said, "This is ours now." Spoiler alert, a lot of people disagree. Your neighbors include the Ayyubid Sultanate to the south, Byzantine politics to the north, and a man named Saladin who, right now, is quietly rising through the ranks. You don't know his name yet. You will. Your childhood is sheltered, tutors, training, the whole royal package. Then one day, your tutor notices something odd. You and your friends are playing rough, as kids do. Everyone comes away with scrapes and bruises. But you don't feel anything in your right arm. No pain, nothing. That's not toughness, that's leprosy. You're 9 years old when the diagnosis is confirmed. In the 12th century, leprosy isn't just a disease, it's basically a social death sentence. People are shunned, exiled, written off. But you're not just anybody. And your kingdom doesn't have the luxury of writing you off.
The routes are sealed.
Your father dies in 1174. You are 13 years old. And just like that, the crown is yours. Not your smartest move, history. But here we are. The court has no choice. You're the heir. You step up. And the first thing everyone around you does is underestimate you. Badly. See, the nobles of Jerusalem are doing what powerful people do when a young, sick king takes the throne. They start maneuvering. It's like a medieval Game of Thrones episode, except the dragon in this case is leprosy, and it lives inside your body. Raymond III of Tripoli is named regent, basically your babysitter with political power. He's experienced, ambitious, and not exactly subtle about wanting control. The court is full of factions, each one pulling in a different direction. Everyone's got an agenda. Classic betrayal arc, unlocked. But you study, you listen, you watch. And slowly, painfully, you learn how to play the game. Let's talk about what leprosy actually does, because this matters. Leprosy attacks your nerves first. You lose sensation first in your hands, then your feet, eventually your face. Without feeling pain, injuries go unnoticed. Infections set in, tissue dies, the body slowly betrays itself. And the whole time, your mind is completely intact. You feel everything emotionally, you just feel nothing physically. You are locked in a deteriorating body with a razor-sharp mind. Imagine being trapped in a burning house that you built yourself and can't leave. By your mid-teens, your right hand is essentially gone. You fight battles wearing armor and a mask to cover your face. Yes, you, a leper king, rides into actual combat. Let that image sit with you for a second. Your physicians wrap your hands, help you onto your horse, and you lead. Every single time. Now we get to the moment that defines you. The moment that makes history. Saladin? Yeah, that's Saladin. The Sultan of Egypt and Syria, one of the greatest military minds of the medieval world, decides this is the year he takes Jerusalem. He rolls through your territory with an army estimated at 20 to 30,000 soldiers. You have roughly 500 knights and a handful of infantry. 500. Every rational military mind says retreat, wait, survive. This is basically getting the silver at the Olympics, except the silver is your kingdom gets conquered. So what do? You attack. You are 16 years old. Your body is failing. Your arm barely functions. And you charge. The Battle of Mont, Gisard, November 25th, 1177. Your forces catch Saladin's army spread thin and unprepared near Ramla. The engagement is chaotic, brutal, and should by all logic be a massacre. Instead, Saladin's forces collapse. His army scatters. He barely escapes with his life. Historians call it one of the most stunning military upsets of the medieval era. You, at 16, with leprosy, beat Saladin. The kingdom erupts. Your people call it a miracle. The Pope sends congratulations. You are, for one shining moment, the most talked about king in Christendom. And you're still a teenager? Here's the thing about heroic moments. Life doesn't pause to let you enjoy them. The disease keeps moving. Your sight starts to go. Your feet give out. By your early 20s, you can no longer ride a horse unassisted. You rule from a litter, a kind of mobile throne carried by servants into council chambers and, sometimes, onto battlefields. The politics get ugly, really ugly. You need an heir. You can't have children, leprosy has seen to that. So the succession question becomes this open, festering wound in your court. Everyone wants to know who comes next. And everyone has a candidate. Your sister Sibylla marries Guy of Lusignan, a French knight who is handsome, charming, and deeply, catastrophically incompetent. You see it immediately. You try to annul the marriage, you fail. Classic story. The wrong person marries into power, and everyone who saw it coming just has to watch. Guy is eventually stripped of authority. You appoint other regents, you fight, politically, with every ounce of energy you have left. Because your body is almost gone, but your mind is still you, still sharp, still fighting. There are truces with Saladin, uneasy, temporary, always on the edge of breaking. There are betrayals from noblemen you trusted. There are moments where you must choose between mercy and justice, between strategy and morality. You don't always get it right, no king does. By 1185, you are 24 years old. You are blind. You cannot walk. You are carried everywhere. You are also still king. You summon your barons one final time. You lay out your wishes for the kingdom. You name your nephew a child as your heir, Baldwin V. You try, in your last act, to build a bridge between the factions that have been tearing your court apart. You know it probably won't hold. But you try anyway. And then, sometime in the spring of 1185, Baldwin IV, king of Jerusalem, the Leper king, closes his eyes for the last time. He is 24 years old. He has been king for 11 years. He has fought one of history's greatest generals and won. He has ruled with a deteriorating body and an iron will. He has been underestimated, manipulated, and written off at every turn. He has never, not once, stopped showing up. Saladin himself, the man who spent years trying to conquer Jerusalem, is said to have expressed deep respect for Baldwin. That's not propaganda. That's your enemy admitting you are something rare. Jerusalem fell to Saladin just 2 years after Baldwin's death. Without him, without that particular will, that particular mind holding the whole fragile thing together, it didn't last. History remembers him as the Leper King, but that title undersells it. He was the king who chose to live fully, to fight, to lead, to refuse in a body that was trying to die. That's not a Leper King. That's a lesson in what it actually means to be human. You just witnessed a man who had every reason to surrender and chose, every single day, not to. He couldn't feel his hands. He couldn't see his kingdom, but he never once lost sight of what it meant to lead. That kind of story doesn't stay in the 12th century. It follows you. If this hit different, if you felt something watching a blind, deteriorating king refuse to quit, then you already know what to do. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. Share it with someone who needs to be reminded that the body is not the limit of the person.